You sit quietly in your room. It's dark outside, the world is asleep. Yet you carry on with passion and dedication and clenched teeth. It's your superpower. 16 points to the left, 24 points to the right. Perfect. Your work starts to take shape as you breeze through it in that perfect flow state. Pixel by pixel, you build up an amazing body of work. You gain the experience and respect of the industry peers. You shift position in your comfy chair and continue, fully focused. And that goes on for years. Hey guys, I'm in a pretty unique position, and by unique position I don't mean designing apps for banks, because that's just a nice perk of being in this industry for so long. By a unique position I also mean pretty literally, because I've been working at a computer with like a mouse and a keyboard for over 20 years now. I simply might be the very first generation to actually spend so much time sitting down with like your arms outstretched like this and just moving them around in just a couple of directions. Of course, people worked on computers in the 70s, but they mostly used keyboards, so they had like a more natural posture with both hands being in the center. I'm a part of the graphical user interface revolution, so obviously we're building interfaces, but we've also been using interfaces for quite a long time. So my position at the computer is not like this, but instead is like this, with one hand being on the keyboard and the other one being on the mouse or on a trackpad, but mostly on the mouse. And the other one, the right hand, is actually moving in like a kind of different axis, and it's actually doing a lot more different kinds of movements. And it also is outstretched more to the front than the left one, because the mouse moves, you know, in every direction and the keyboard stays the same. And after 20 years of doing this all the time, I'm starting to feel it. In 2019, my right arm, mostly my hand and the fingers, started tingling. And that tingling actually kind of led to the entire hand being a little bit more fatigued, a little bit numb, but not like completely numb. But still, it was alarming, and I was really searching for what the reason for that is. It took me quite a long time, and quite a lot of different problems actually surfaced because of that search. But coincidentally, that hand, that right arm and that right hand is the one that I use for my mouse. So the stationary left hand with the keyboard, it's fine. Everything is perfect there. But the one that does the most movement and the one that's most outstretched to the front, which the entire shoulder is actually moving forward like this, is the one with the problems. It took me a year of hit and miss to identify the problem and start fixing it. And right now, 2 years later, it's still recovering. So it is a lot better. It almost never tingles anymore. But it requires me to actually put in a lot of time and a lot of effort to have a fully functional hand. This can happen to you. Now, unless you really mind your posture, like really, you sit in a perfect position and the monitor is like the perfect eye level and the chair is perfectly aligned and your arms are at the right height and everything, then you'll be safe. But nobody sits like that. We all know that after a while of sitting at the desk, we kind of begin to slouch down and kind of move into the like weird positions. And after a while, we don't even notice that, but it's really, really harmful for the spine, for the fascia, and for like everything in your body, really. Sitting down is bad for you. And of course, you need to be sitting down or standing up at a standing desk. This desk behind me is a standing desk, but it's not really solving a problem if you purchase the standing desk after you get some problems with your back or with your spine or with your posture or with your hands or anything. You probably can't see it from the video, or maybe you can, but my right shoulder, this one here, is like a little bit lower than the left one. And this is because of that muscle degeneration, and I do work out and I try to actually bring it back to normal, but it's now going to be quite a lot of work. It's just a little bit lower, it's hanging lower, and I can try to kind of
consciously move it up like this, and maybe it's gonna stay there, but no, it always kind of falls down. And things like that are the dark side of working long hours on the computer, because obviously if you want to be great at design or development, you need to put in the time. I used to do 12 to 14 hour work days. I used to work 7 days a week for 12 to 14 hours while building up the company. Now when we're a little bit more successful, I don't really need to work as much, and I try to actually do things outside of this computer zone and move a lot. But if you don't do anything about it right now, even before you get any problems, it's only gonna get worse. And you may think to yourself, yeah, but I'm 20 something years old and I've been working like this for maybe a year or two, so I'm pretty safe, right? I can maybe start doing it after 30, or maybe when I start getting some problems or whatever, and right now I'm safe, so I can just continue doing what I'm doing. The lifestyle of people nowadays, even the younger people, is radically different than it was just even 10 years ago. The Netflix binging and sitting on the couch has become like the typical pastime. So first you sit a couple of hours at the computer and then you slouch on the couch and kind of watch some shows. So you're in that sedentary position even more. And my chiropractor, a very nice guy, has said that it's really terrifying to him that younger and younger people are coming to him with like really severe problems now. Because it used to be really people like over 35, and right now it's people like 22, 23 years old with like really severe back changes in their kind of posture in their spine. And these changes are basically progressing into something even worse if they don't do anything about it. So nobody is safe, sorry to break it to you, but it's really good to start right now, especially if you don't have any problem. And also this little guy, the smartphone, it's just amazing, right? It appeared in our lives and we're constantly looking like this, and we're kind of scrolling and looking down and scrolling and doom scrolling and just moving our fingers like miles every day. But you know what? This kind of neckband concept, it's pretty new still, and there is already a lot of neck injuries happening to people, and there's like a lot of problems with the neck area in general because of this little thing. This is another problem you need to be aware of, because next to sitting all day at the computer, you're also staring neck down into a smaller screen and just scrolling some silly stuff and laughing at cats. All of that with the Netflix watching combined is actually gonna be a very, very big problem for this entire new generation of designers. But let's get back to your back. You can take the path that I chose, which is to ignore the problem because it doesn't exist yet. So perfect, do it, and then you'll just simply end up paying chiropractors, masseuses, and have therapies and work out like really insanely. I need to do like an hour of stretching every day to actually be even able to work normally, because if I don't do it, everything is gonna get so cramped here that I'm gonna be like stiff and barely able to move. That's your choice. You can just be relaxed right now, or you can do something now and avoid this later. Now, I'm not a physical therapist and I'm not like a fitness coach or anything, but I was really researching this, and I've been doing a lot of different exercises, mostly from YouTube practitioners. And I found a couple of different people, and I'm gonna link them all in the description below, that don't really need that much time from you, and that they really, really help if you do them consistently and if you do them every single day. Right now, my time for stretching is down to like 20 something minutes every day from over an hour, and the results are the same. So I'm gonna share these exercises with you, and even if doing them very lightly anything hurts you, then you should definitely stop right away and then go to a doctor and see why it's so and see what you can do to fix that. I've been doing those successfully for a couple of months now, and they are really helping me. So if you're having trouble with your back, this is a good place to start. And if you're not having trouble with your back yet, this is a good place to actually kind of, make it moving a little bit. Because sitting all day at the computer and just kind of moving your arms like this and just moving one rectangle from here to there and then getting a lot of money for it is just one part of the story. But if you don't do anything about this and the neck and the head and like whatever, even your eyes, it's really gonna get bad for you. I don't want you to go through what I have gone through. It's really painful and it's really unpleasant and it's really unnecessary. So let's not do it. I'm gonna show you these exercises, and I'm gonna link the original exercises. There's like a lot more of them. I just picked a couple and combined them, but there's a lot more. I'm gonna link them in the description. One is in English, one is in Polish, but it doesn't really matter because you can still follow along even without really understanding what they're saying. The important thing is to do it daily, every single day. Well, you sit at your computer every day, so you need the counter to that, and doing a daily exercise and daily moving of your spine and your body is gonna be really helpful to counterbalance all of those hours in Figma or Sketch pushing rectangles. Morning, it's 7 a.m. the next day, so we jumped in time a little bit, and I'm going to the beach to actually show you the exercises because I could have done it in my room, but then I would have to clean it, so this is gonna be a much simpler choice. I love the beach in the morning, it's just completely empty. Time to set up the camp and then let's start. I try to do it on the beach every morning, and my main setup is a towel and then a roller, which basically is something that you can use to roll your muscles, and I'm using the thing that goes under my balance board for this. This is going to be a little bit faster, so it's not boring for you, but of course the movements shown here are supposed to be very slow and steady. So first of all, I'm moving my head to the sides, and then I'm outstretching one of the arms and kind of doing this little pose here. It's actually more difficult than it looks. And then on the other side. The next step is to start to roll the head in a circle, but start with a very small circle first, and of course do it slow and steady. And then of course to the other side, and once you're comfortable you can make the circle larger. Then I move the head up and down a couple of times and then connect my hands on top of the head, so the weight of my arms is actually pushing the head down a little bit. And then after that I roll my shoulders to the front, and after a while I start rolling them to the back as well. Last thing from this section that I do is simply rotating my head to the sides, left and right, left and right. For this exercise you're gonna need a timer. I set it to 5 minutes and then I lay down with the roller just under my back, and I'm stretching my stomach and my chest to the top and trying to breathe slow and steady. You can shift the position a little bit during this, but after a while, if you're ready to actually finish, you need to move the roller down a little bit and then kind of roll your back a little bit, and then simply push it out. Don't just stand up right away, because with just being in that position for 5 minutes, it actually can damage your spine. So I'm just going to the side and up. The next exercise is even simpler. You just stand up, bend down, and let your hands just drop down and hang there. And you can try to move around a little bit, you can bend the legs a little bit as well. Just try to be stationary as much as possible. To make this a little bit less boring, I sometimes stretch down even more and touch the ground with my hands. I can hold that for a while and then go back to the main position. I can bend the legs a little bit. The idea is to basically have this state of just kind of hanging there, and the head can actually hang there as well. The last part is a little bit more active. I rotate my arms to the left and to the right 50 to 100 times. And after I'm done with that, I try to rotate to the sides as well. So just kind of rotate left and right, but with a different axis. And that's it. Easy, right? So being in that unique position and getting quite a lot of money for a pretty simple job, we really need to focus on staying healthy, because just being rich at some point is not gonna make you happy. You need to be healthy as well. This is all coming from my personal experience with back pain, with soreness, and with problems that actually prevented me from enjoying my life. This year, I'm gonna merge design tutorials and design concepts and design ideas with more of like a how to be happy attitude, because they are very strongly connected and you need to be aware of both of them. Because just being successful and rich and having a nice car and a nice house is not gonna be enough. Really, it's just simply not gonna be enough. So if you liked the video, please give it a like, and if you had any experiences like this, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, drink some water, do some sit-ups, move a little bit, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.